Good morning to all of you. Today we discuss about the cephalosporins. So this cephalosporins is a semi-synthetic antibiotics which is obtained from the Cephalosporin C, and it is originally obtained from the fungus. It is the Cephalosporium. Let's see the structure of the cephalosporin. It is a beta-lactam antibiotics. See here the beta-lactam ring. Okay, and at this 7th position, if we add the side chain, then it is the alter in the spectrum activity. Okay, so there is a changes in the antimicrobial spectrum with the various generation of the cephalosporins. And this ring is a dihydrothiazine ring. At 3rd position of the dihydrothiazine ring, if we alter the side chains, then there is a change in the pharmacokinetic properties of the cephalosporins. Okay, so this, let's see the classification of the first generation cephalosporin. There is a first, second, third, fourth and fifth generation of the cephalosporin as their invention. Okay, so let's see the first generation cephalosporin. How to remember this classification? So in first generation cephalosporin, there is a FA. There is a cefazolin, cefalexin and cefadroxil. So there is a cefa. Okay, cefazolin, cefalexin, cefadroxil. So all the cefa, it is a first generation cephalosporins except cefaclor. Okay, so cephalosporin which contain the CEFA or CEPHA, it is a first generation cephalosporin. In parenteral there is a cefazolin, and in oral there is a cefalexin and cefadroxil. Okay, so there is a one exception, it is a cefaclor, and this cefaclor is a second generation cephalosporin oral. Okay, then try to remember cefuroxime. Cefuroxime, it is a parenteral drug also, and there is a cefuroxime hexadyl, it is a prodrug which is the oral second generation cephalosporin. Okay, so this second generation cephalosporin, one is a cefaclor, second is a cefuroxime hexadyl, and two other drug, cefoxitin and ceprozil. In third generation cephalosporin, it is most useful nowadays, so it is easily remember because it is a useful in all the hospital settings. Okay, so in parenteral there is a cefotaxime, ceftriaxone, ceftriaxone, ceftazidime and cefoperazone. This third generation cephalosporin mostly contain the one ONE1 like the ceftriaxone 1, पीछे 1 और XIME आएगा. ओके, ceftriaxone, cefotaxime, ceftriaxone. Okay, then ceftazidime and cefoperazone. In orally there is a cefixime, again there is a XIME, cefopodoxime, again there is a XIME, then cefdinir, cefdibutane, it is the exception, and ceftamed pivoxil. Okay, so these are the third generation cephalosporin. Then move to the fourth generation cephalosporin. This fourth generation cephalosporin is contain the PI, cefepime-pyrom. Okay, so this parenteral drug, fourth generation cephalosporin, it is a cefepime and cefepyrom. Okay, and then fifth generation cephalosporin, there is a roll. It contains the roll, ceftaroline, fosamil and ceftobiprole medocaryl. Okay, so it is about the classification of the cephalosporin. So let's move towards the mechanism of action. This is the beta-lactam antibiotic and it is a bactericidal. It is sum to the difference between the penicillin and cephalosporin. It is a binding with the penicillin binding protein. Okay, there is a different penicillin binding protein for this cephalosporin. So penicillin, it is a resistant to the various organism. Various organism is a resistant to the penicillin, but it is not resistant to the cephalosporin because of this alter in the penicillin binding protein, and it is a bactericidal. It is a beta-lactam antibiotic, so it inhibits the transpeptidase enzyme and cell wall synthesis inhibitor. If you want to learn about the how this cell wall synthesis occur and inhibitor of the cell wall synthesis, then go to this link. Okay, then antimicrobial resistance with this cephalosporin resistance. How this cephalosporin resistance occur? It is a mainly one mechanism. It is a beta lactamase enzyme. Okay, cephalosporinase enzyme which destroy these cephalosporins. Okay, cephalosporin is a beta lactam antibiotic, and this organism, various organism, gram positive and gram negative organism which produce the beta lactamase enzyme. In cephalosporin case, there is a cephalosporinase enzyme. Okay, it is a beta lactamase enzyme, and it open the beta lactam ring, and there is a destroy the antimicrobial drugs. Other some mechanism, it's a alteration in the penicillin binding protein. So this cephalosporin, it's a not binding or laser affinity with this with some organism, and also having the gram negative organism having the efflux mechanism, or there is a impermeability to the cephalosporins. Let's see the PK in pharmacokinetic. Most of this cephalosporin, it is a oral also, and it is a injectable drug also. Okay, and this cephalosporin, it is a most of the drug, it is a shorter T-half, but it is given mostly the 2 times in a day or 3 times in a day. Some drug which having the more tissue penetration, and it is a more concentration in the tissue, so they given 2 times in a day or 1 times in a day. Example, it's a ceftriaxone. Okay, it is excreted rapidly by the kidney, or mostly it's a unchanged in urine. Okay, and this probenecid, it's a inhibit their tubular secretion. So if we combine this probenecid, then there is an increase in the concentration of this cephalosporin also. This cephalosporin, it crosses the placental barrier, but it is the safer drug, and most safest drug in the cephalosporin is the cephalexin, cefatroxil, and ceftriaxone. Let's see the first generation cephalosporin. So first generation cephalosporin, it's a older one, and it's as compared to the penicillin. Okay, it is just like the penicillin, which is acting on the more of the gram positive organism, and it is a laser effective in the gram negative organism. So we already know about the cefazolin. Cefazolin is a parenteral drug. Okay, so it is the more act like the penicillin G like activity. Okay, so penicillin G is the more acting on the gram positive organism, plus this cephalosporin, it is also active on the gram negative bacteria, but nowadays there is a chances of the resistance also. Okay, and this cefazolin, it is a good in the surgical prophylaxis. So it is a useful as a surgical prophylaxis before half hour of the surgery. Dose is a 1 gram. Okay, then other drug is a cephalexin and cefatroxil. This cefatroxil is a good tissue penetration, so it is given in the 2 times in a day. Dose is a 500 milligram to 1 milligram 1 gram 2 times in a day, and this is the first generation cephalosporin. It is a more active on the gram positive organism, so it is used in the रेजिस्टेंस केस ऑफ द पेनिसिलिन जी जहाँ पे आप यूज़ नहीं कर सकते हो, वहाँ पे इफ़ यू वांट टू गिव, देन देयर इज़ अ फर्स्ट जनरेशन cephalosporin. इट्स अ गुड चॉइस. Okay, so it is useful in the various skin and soft tissue infection. Also there is a UTI and some other gram positive infections. Okay, this cephalexin and cefatroxil, which is also active on the gram negative organism, so and it is a safer drug in the pregnancy. So if in the pregnancy there is a urinary tract infection, then we have the choice of the cephalexin and cefatroxil. Then second generation cephalosporin. See, the second generation cephalosporin nowadays we are not using as much as the third generation cephalosporin, because this second generation cephalosporin, it's acting on the gram negative organism and it's a weaker gram positive activity. But we have the newer drug. These are the third generation cephalosporin, and it is a more active against the gram negative bacteria. So nowadays there is a second generation cephalosporin. It is not much useful as compared to the third generation cephalosporin. So here the cefuroxime, cefoxitin, cefotitan, cefuroxime axetil, cefaclor and cefoprozil. Okay, and this cefuroxime, previously it is useful in the meningitis, but nowadays we have the safer and good choice of the drug. It's a cefotaxime and ceftriaxone, which are the third generation cephalosporins. Okay, this cefoxitin and cefotitan is also having some anaerobic activity, so it is effective in some anaerobic bacteria. Okay, let's see the third generation cephalosporin. This third generation cephalosporin, it is a more active against the gram negative organisms, particularly the enterobacteriaceae. Okay, and plus pseudomonas. Some third generation cephalosporin like the cefoperazone and ceftazidime, it also effective on the pseudomonas infection. Okay, so it is the third generation cephalosporin. Nowadays it is a more useful because it is a more wide spectrum against the gram negative bacteria, and it is also useful in the some third generation cephalosporin, it is useful in the pseudomonas infection, but it is less active on the gram positive cocci and anaerobes than the first generation cephalosporin. Okay, let's see the cefotaxime. Okay, cefotaxime, it is a T half, it is only 1 hour, but it is a deacetylated. Okay, so this acetylation occur, and this metabolite, it is also active, so it is a permitting 12-hour dose, this cefotaxime. Cefotaxime, it is previously useful in the meningitis, but now we are using the more safer and more good drug. It's a ceftriaxone. Okay, so it is useful in meningitis with this H. influenza, Neisseria, and also the streptococcus pneumonia. Okay, if there is a pneumonia by the streptococcus, H. influenza, and meningitis, then there is a cefotaxime. It is useful, but nowadays we are using the ceftriaxone. If there is a organism, it is a streptococcus pneumonia, then we are using the cefotaxime and vancomycin. Okay, also this drug, it is useful in the typhoid fever, alternative to the ceftriaxone. Okay, so why this ceftriaxone, it is a good or nice as compared to the cefotaxime? Because it is a longer duration of action. There is a T half 8 hour. So this ceftriaxone, it is given once in a day or 2 times in a day. Okay, it is elimination occur in the urine and bile also. So it is also eliminated through the bile. So there is a chances of the pseudocholecalciasis. Okay, and then there is a hypoprothrombinemia and bleeding occur with this ceftriaxone. Okay, so if in MCQ ask about the drug causing cephalosporin causing the bleeding, then there is a ceftriaxone and some other drug also. Okay, but one is the ceftriaxone. Let's see the uses. Ceftriaxone. So ceftriaxone, it is nowadays it is more useful as compared to other first and second generation cephalosporin, and this is the third generation cephalosporin. So it's useful against the various gram negative organisms like the gonorrhea. Okay, so it is useful in the various conditions. Okay, so gonorrhea and synchroid, these it is a single dose, single ceftriaxone 1 gram intramuscular. It is a curative in the gonorrhea and synchroid. It is also effective in the penicillinase producing Neisseria gonorrhea. Okay, in syphilis, it is also given 1 gram intramuscular for the 7 days in early syphilis, and in the late syphilis there is a for the 14 days. Meningitis, the ceftriaxone dose is a 4 gram followed by the 2 gram intravenously once in a day for 7 to 10 days. Even in typhoid, it is useful if there is a multi-drug resistant typhoid or fluoroquinolones resistant typhoid, then we are using this ceftriaxone. Ceftriaxone, it is a 4 gram IV for first 2 days, then there is a 2 gram per day given in the typhoid for the Salmonella typhi, and till it is given 2 days after the fever subsides. Okay, so there is initially there is a 4 gram intravenous daily, then there is a 2 gram per day till second day after the fever subsides. Okay, so there is this ceftriaxone and cefotaxime and other third generation cephalosporin. It is useful in the various gram negative organism causing the infections. Okay, so there is a septicemia, hospital acquired infections, okay, nosocomial infections and mixed infection. This ceftriaxone and cefotaxime and other third generation cephalosporin. It's useful with the various combination of the aminoglycoside and metronidazole. Okay, so it is useful in the various hospital settings. Then there is a ceftriaxone. Ceftriaxone, it inhibits the B fragilis. Then ceftazidime. Ceftazidime, it is also active against the pseudomonas. Okay, so this cefoperazone and ceftazidime, it is active against the pseudomonas. Then particular ADR of the ceftazidime is a neutropenia and thrombocytopenia. Also there is an increase in the transaminase and blood urea level. So try to remember this ADR. Ceftazidime, this is neutropenia, thrombocytopenia, increase in the plasma transaminase and blood urea level. Okay, cefoperazone, again it is effective against the pseudomonas infections, and it is also there is a hypothrombemia. So there is a chance of the bleeding with this cefoperazone and ceftriaxone. Also this cefoperazone, it is a disulfiram like reaction if it is taken with the alcohol. Okay, so it is not given if patient is a alcoholic. Then this cefotaxime, cefoperazone is the orally acting third generation cephalosporin, and particular ADR for this is the stool changes and color changes of the stool and diarrhea. Okay, so it is mostly useful as a 200 mg BD, cefotaxime and cefoperazone. Then cefdinir, it is more active against the gram positive cocci and respiratory pathogens. So it is effective in the various ENT related infections. Okay, then ceftibutane, same. Ceftamate, it is more active against the enterobacteriasis, and dose is a 500 mg BD. Let's see the fourth generation cephalosporin. Okay, this fourth generation cephalosporin, it's the same antimicrobial spectrum as a third generation cephalosporin, but it is a more potent against the enterobacteriasis. Why this is the more potent, or it's covered the more spectrum than the third generation cephalosporin? Because this fourth generation cephalosporin, it also effective against if the microorganism produce chromosomal induced beta lactamase. Okay, if some organism, gram negative organism, enterobacteriasis, which are the various Klebsiella and Pseudomonas or any other, if Salmonella, Shigella, this induce the chromosomal beta lactamase. So this third generation cephalosporin, it is not acting, but this fourth generation cephalosporin, it is active against this particular beta lactamase. Okay, so it increase the spectrum of this fourth generation cephalosporin, and it is a cefepime and cefepirone. Okay, so this cefepime, cefepirone 1 to 2 gram intravenously, cefepime 8 hourly and cefepirone is a 12 hourly. It is useful in various hospital acquired infections like the pneumonia, if there is a febrile neutropenia and there is a septicemia. Okay, so it is a useful cephalosporins. And this fourth generation cephalosporin, it also active against the pseudomonas. So try to remember, in the penicillins there is a anti-pseudomonal penicillin, and it is a piperacillin. Okay, it is a piperacillin, methicillin, azithromycin. Okay, these are the drug. Okay, in cephalosporin, fourth generation cephalosporin, there is a cefepime and cefepirone. Okay, so try to remember this thing. In fifth generation cephalosporin, we have the two drugs. It is a ceftaroline and ceftobiprole. So this ceftaroline fosamil, it is a prodrug. This fifth generation cephalosporin, it also called the anti-methicillin resistant Staphylococcus aureus cephalosporins. Okay, so it is effective against the methicillin resistant Staphylococcus aureus also. It is a prodrug, and it is a some other mechanism, like it is binding with this other penicillin binding protein, like in the methicillin resistant Staphylococcus aureus. This drug ceftaroline fosamil, it is binding with the penicillin binding protein 2A. Okay, in penicillin resistant Streptococcus pneumonia, it is binding with the penicillin binding protein 2B and 2X. So it is binding with the other penicillin binding protein side. So it is effective if there is a methicillin is not sensitive in the Staphylococcus aureus, and this penicillin is resistant to the Streptococcus pneumonia, but this fifth generation cephalosporin it's useful because of the alter penicillin binding protein. Okay, but it is susceptible to the extended spectrum beta lactamase and metallo-beta lactamase. Okay, so it is also destroyed by this. If there is an extended spectrum beta lactamase produced by the organism or metallo-beta lactamase, okay, then the drug of choice is other. In extended spectrum beta lactamase, we already know about it's carbapenems. Okay, then it is mostly useful. This ceftaroline, it is a complicated skin and structure, skin related infections, soft tissue infections, and it is also useful in the community acquired pneumonia. Okay, there is a milder side effects like the headache, dizziness, itching, rashes, fever, diarrhea, and there is a irritation in the vein. Dose is a 600 milligram infused intravenously over 60 minutes, then 2 times in a day for 14 days. Ceftobiprole, it is also the prodrug, and it is the same in the methicillin resistant Staphylococcus aureus and penicillin resistant Streptococcus pneumonia. There is a binding site, it is a penicillin binding protein 2A, 2B, and 2X. Okay, but it is also effective in the E. faecalis, and it is a binding with this penicillin binding protein 5. Okay, so it is also useful in the hospital acquired pneumonia, but exception or it exclude the ventilator assisted pneumonia. Okay, it is also useful in the community acquired pneumonia. Okay, there is a ADR like the nausea, diarrhea, and infusion site reactions. There is a chances of the increase in the hepatic transaminase and hyponatremia. Dose is a 500 milligram intravenous infusion every 8 hours. Other drug is the ceftolozane, and it is also effective against the pseudomonas. Then newer drug is the cefiderocol. Okay, cefiderocol, it is the cephalosporin, it is a siderophore cephalosporin. Okay, don't go in the detail of the what is the siderophore cephalosporin, but just remember for the MCQ purpose, it's a cefiderocol, it's a siderophore cephalosporin. Okay, it is useful in the complicated UTI, and it is also effective if the organism is producing the carbapenemase and metallo-beta lactamase. Okay, so this cefiderocol, it's useful in the complicated UTI. If we see the adverse effect, common ADR of this cephalosporin, then most of the drug is injectable, some drug is oral. So those drugs which are the injectable, if by the IM route, then there is a pain at the intramuscular injection. Okay, if we are giving the intravenous route, then there is a chances of the irritation of the vein or there is a thrombophlebitis. Cefixime, cefoperoxime, which are given by the oral route, so this taken by the oral route, and it's produce the diarrhea. Okay, if patient is allergic to the penicillin, then there is a chances of the also reaction, hypersensitive reaction to the develop with this cephalosporin also. So if patient having the allergy with this penicillin, then we avoid the cephalosporin in this particular patients. Also this cephalosporin, most of the cephalosporin is eliminated by the renal route. So if we given this cephalosporin with the other drug which are the nephrotoxic, then we want to reduce the dose or choose the alternative drugs. Thank you.